This week, I'm going to lead you through a short seated yoga practice. This is an easy to follow, all levels yoga practice, and we're going to do all poses and movements from seated orientation. Let's get started. You don't necessarily need any props for this week's practice. However, I have a rolled up towel and a yoga block here with me. I'm going to use them to support the knees, to support the hands in some of the poses, but you might also do this practice without any props. And we're going to start from a seat. We're going to do the whole practice in a seated or from a seated pose. And for the beginning of the practice, find any easy pose. Now, it could be a cross-legged seat, and you could use something under the pelvis. I'm going to use a block under the pelvis for a more comfortable seat. If you want, you can also sit on your knees, just any easy pose where you could take a couple of minutes as we focus on breathing before we start to move more. Once you have found your comfortable seat, you could either rest your hands on your legs, on your knees, or you could bring one hand onto your chest and the other hand lower down somewhere onto your belly. And then take a few slightly deeper breaths or slightly slower breaths in and out, so that you can feel the movements of your in-breaths and the movements of your out-breaths. So you might slightly exaggerate your breathing just for a few breaths in the beginning, so you can find some space for your in-breaths and then find some release with your out-breaths. And then after those few more kind of bigger breaths or deeper breaths, let your breathing calm down and just continue to observe the natural pace and rhythm of your breathing. Notice if you're tensing your shoulders when you're breathing in. Notice if you're tensing your stomach area, your belly area. Notice if you're tensing your lower back as you're breathing in and out. And if you need to adjust anything in your seat to continue breathing, feel free to make those changes, adjustments. You might also change where your hands, your arms are. Give yourself a few more breaths in the seat. Look for softness in your pose. Look for ease in your breathing. We don't need to take as deep or as big breaths as possible. Just let the breath flow in and out, so you allow space for each breath. And then after those few breaths, if you are sitting on a block, you might take that block aside and bring yourself to sit on the mat. We're going to go into a twist. And for this twist, we're going to extend the right leg in front of us. You can bend your left leg, and if you have a block there, you can bring the block behind you in case you need it under your hand. So we're going to have the left foot inside the right leg, and we're going to hug the left knee towards the chest with our right arm. So opposite arm hugging the knee, and then step your left hand behind you. Now, you could use a block under that left hand, or you might bring your left hand all the way down on the mat. Where do you feel you can just slightly press down through that left hand, giving some support for the back. Inhale first, and as you exhale, see if you could start to twist just a bit further to your left. You might look over the left shoulder, but that might tense your neck. So feel free to leave your neck soft, leave your neck, head in a more neutral place. And send a few breaths towards the ribs, maybe all the way down to the lower back. Keep the tops of the shoulders soft. Take another breath in and out. And keep your pelvis heavy. And then as you exhale, slowly release the twist. Come back to center. Still keep your left leg bent, but now open the left leg out to the side into a half butterfly shape. And here, you might use a towel under that right knee, especially if you feel that extending that right leg fully as we go into a forward bend is just a bit too much for the knee. You can also bring some support under the left knee. Now we're going to slowly walk hands, fingers just a bit further along the mat. So you start to lean forward. Inhale. And as you exhale, see if you could lean just a bit further forward, either over the right leg or maybe on the inside of that right leg. If it feels okay, you might start to lean your head down and forward as well. Now continue to breathe here. With each in-breath, imagine your back is reaching forward like a wave going through the spine towards the head. And as you exhale, see if you could release your back, your head just a bit further down. Again, with the in-breath, the wave moving from your lower back towards the head, the back reaching forward. Exhale, lowering down. Maybe the head coming a bit further down, closer to the legs. We'll do 2 more breaths. At any point, if you start to feel you're going beyond your edge, if you're going too far, just pause, stay where you are. But we'll keep the breath active. 1 more breath in and out. And then with the next in-breath, lift your back, your neck, your head up. Step your both hands behind the pelvis. Extend your both legs in front of you. And then as you inhale, lift your chest bone up. Like your breath is filling the chest. Take 1 breath there, in and out. And then slowly bring yourself to center. And we're going to go into that twist and forward bend on the other side. So now we're going to leave the left leg extended in front of us. Bend the right knee. So your right foot is on the inside of that left leg. And with our left arm, we're going to hug the right knee. And then step right hand behind us again, either onto a block or all the way down on the mat. And first, as you inhale, just gently press down through the right hand, open the chest. As you exhale, you might twist just a bit further to the right. Don't force your back. Just see where the breath takes you. So really using the breath, again, as a tool to open the space and to release the space along the spine, around the shoulders. Pelvis might twist as well, hips might turn slightly. Take another breath in and out in your twist. And then slowly, as you exhale, come back to center. Open your right leg into that half butterfly shape. And now, again, if you want some cushioning under the straight leg knee, you might bring a towel under the left knee. Walk your hands, your fingers, just a bit further forward along the mat. Inhale. And as you exhale, start to lean your back, your head down and forward. See where it's easy to go to begin with. And then as you inhale, like a wave going through the spine, your back reaching just a tiny bit forward. Exhale, see if you can release just a bit further down. And we'll do that same kind of breath a few times. So it's like a wave moving from your lower back towards the head and then releasing down. Trying to soften the back of the neck. 2 more breaths in your own pace. If it helps, you might exhale through the mouth. Let out a sigh. Keep tops of the shoulders soft. And then slowly with your next in-breath, bring your back up. You can roll the shoulders and then bring your legs into a cross-legged seat. You can cross either leg in front and bring hands onto your knees. We're going to go into a couple of cat-cows and then circling cat-cows. First, as you inhale, open your chest. Like puffing your chest forward. You might look a bit higher up. Exhale, round your back. You can keep hands on the knees and kind of lean back like you're hanging from the knees. Chin can come towards the chest. Inhale again, open the chest. Again, let your hips, your pelvis rock back and forth. Exhale, round the back. You can tilt the pelvis back as well. One more time, inhaling, open the chest. And exhale, round the back. And again, you can lean the pelvis back as well. And then we go into circles. Now, start to circle your chest, your upper back. You choose the direction. And then you can start to circle the weight on your pelvis as well. Kind of leaning a bit to one buttock, then the other. And let your neck, your head follow those movements. You can still kind of hang from the knees if that helps to round the back. And then from an easy place, change the direction. And just continue to breathe. Notice when you're breathing in and when you're breathing out. You might inhale as you bring your chest forward, or you might inhale as you lean backwards into that round shape. Just notice how you're breathing when you're breathing in and out. Let's do one more circle. And then slowly bring yourself to center. And just take a couple of breaths there, in and out. Check the shoulders, the neck are soft. And then we're going to go into a seated deer pose. I'm going to turn towards you so you can see better. And we're going to first leave the left leg in front of us and bend the right leg next to us. So you might be sitting a bit more on the left hip. That's very fine. The right foot is kind of next to you or behind you. The left shin and foot in front of you. And we're going to go into a side bend. Now you might again use a block here under the right hand. So you can bring the block on your right hand side. We're going to step the right hand either on the mat or on the block on your right hand side. And with an in-breath, lengthen your left arm up. Exhale, lean towards your right hand. So you're leaning into a side bend, opening the left side body. You might look down to the mat on the right hand side if that releases the neck more. If left shoulder gets really tense, you can always bring the left arm down, maybe behind the back. You're still in a side bend, even if the arm is not up. Wherever you are, take another 2 breaths in and out. Maybe with each breath, you go just a bit further. You can slide that right hand or the block along the mat. And then inhale, bring yourself back up. Step hands behind the pelvis, bring both legs in front of you, and now swing the legs, the knees from side to side a couple of times. Windshield wipers. And then we'll go to the other side. So now leave your right leg in front of you. And bring left leg next to you. And if you want to use a block, bring the block to your left hand side. And it might be that the hips, the legs feel different on this side. You can adjust where the legs are. We're going to reach the left hand on the mat or on a block on the left hand side. And then as you inhale, open the right side body. You might reach the right arm up. And exhale, bend just a bit further to your left. And again, you might turn gaze down towards the mat, if that helps the neck. And if you start to tense the right shoulder, remember you can always bring the right arm down. And keep breathing. You might send your breath towards the right armpit, maybe all the way down to the right hip. So breathing down and up along that right side. Take one more breath here, in and out. And then as you inhale, slowly bring yourself up to center. Again, step both hands behind you, bring legs in front of you, and do a couple more of those windshield wipers. Let your hips move. You might turn head away from the knees. And then we're going to find one more seat. And like in the beginning, this could be a cross-legged seat, or you might sit on your knees. I'm going to bring the block again under the pelvis. Because often, if you get your hips above the knees, that helps the pelvis, helps your spine to find a bit easier neutral alignment. So you don't need to tense your hip flexors. You don't need to tense your belly or back too much. Once you've found your seat, bring hands behind your head, behind the neck. You might interlace your fingers. And then as you inhale, start to open your chest, leaning head onto your hands, and turning your gaze higher up. So there's a small back bend, leaning head back. Inhale towards the chest. And as you exhale, start to bring your chin towards the chest. And slowly, gently round your neck, maybe round your upper back as well. So looking for a bit of an opening at the back of the neck. Elbows might close in. We're not pulling the head down, we're just letting the hands rest behind the head. Maybe there's a stretch behind the neck. Make sure it's not too intense. And then with the help of the hands, as you inhale, lift your head back up. And exhale, lean the head back again. And just kind of let your head float leaning on to the hands. Let the elbows reach out to the sides. Breathe towards the chest space. Tops of the shoulders soft. Take one more breath in. And then one more time as you exhale, start to round your neck, bringing chin towards the chest. Elbows can close in. And take a couple of breaths in that gentle neck stretch. Again, not pulling down, just resting the hands behind the head. Breathe towards the upper back between the shoulder blades. And then exhale, release the hands, the arms down. And inhale, slowly bring your head up. You might look up. You might roll the shoulders, look to the left and right. And then we're going to take a few more breaths here to close the practice. If you need to adjust your seat to make it more comfortable, let yourself adjust. And again, you might have hands resting on your legs. Or you might bring one hand onto the chest, other hand down to belly. You might close your eyes. And now just notice your breath. You might feel your breath in your hands. You might just feel your chest, your belly rising, sinking in as you breathe in and out. Notice that natural rhythm in your breath. For a moment, bring your full awareness to that rhythm. Leave softness in your neck and in your shoulders. Take a couple more breaths in and out. If it's a part of your practice, you might bring palms together in front of your chest. And as always, at the end of the practice, most importantly, thank yourself for checking in with your breath, with your body, with your mind today. And I thank you very much for joining in. Namaste. Thank you.